Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the songs on the White Album, and I actually really love this album. I don't think it's their best, but I don't blame anybody if they do think it's their best. They do think it's the best Beatles album, I just don't think it is. I still think Abbey Road tops and is still my favorite, but yeah, the White Album is probably top 3 for me. Amazing, at least in top 3. On great days where I really love listening to this album, this actually might be better than Sgt. Pepper's for me on some days. But anyways, let's get started with the ranking. I Will. Just a beautiful track. It's going at the bottom of S tier because it is very short, but I love Paul's vocals on this track. I do love his harmonies, and they're very great. Dear Prudence is going at the top of S tier for me. It's a great track. The guitar work is super nice and is very catchy, and also John's vocals, especially, and when it picks up in the second half, great. Same with the guitar work, as I said. Back in the USSR, not a masterpiece. Both of these, both this and Dear Prudence, are close to being masterpieces, but yeah, an amazing opener. Love that kind of bluesy but yet like still kind of hard rock guitar. I love Paul's vocals, and I'm gonna be kind of like a broken record on this album because it's some of the songs are very similar, but yet there's a lot of like tonal whiplash here and there, which I do like. A lot of people do say this album is bloated. I really don't think it's that bloated. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 songs at most I would get rid of, but rather than that, I really don't think it's that bad. And yeah, it's a long listen, but that in of itself is not a bad thing. I mean, more Beatles material is great. Savoy Truffle, it is going probably A tier, like middle of the road A tier. Great horns, great guitar work, but it's just not on the same level as these, but still a pretty good song. Revolution 9. This is going to be the most controversial one because a lot of people hate this track, but I really don't. I don't even think it's the worst track on this album. I really don't. Because I think the worst is when the Beatles get kind of boring and just sound like any other band. That's when I feel like it can get boring. There's like 1 or 2 songs I would say that for, but for Revolution 9, this is not boring. At least you could say whatever you want about it. At least it's very interesting, and yeah, it's like an audio experience. It still is music, but like it's an audio experience, and I really do love it. I really love how easy it is to sample this song. I have sampled it in the past. But yeah, I really do like this song for just being how weird it is, especially for the time. But yeah, this is actually a good track. I would put it at the bottom of A tier. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people hate this track because it's not, it doesn't have any other Beatle on it. It's just John messing around with samples. But I just love it for how experimental it is. Maybe it's because I've been listening to too much Radiohead, but I just do like the track a lot. Blackbird is a masterpiece. It's not, and yes, it is, a big part of it is the nostalgia factor for me, but also the guitar work is beautiful. One of one of Paul's best guitar work, and also just a very, very memorable melody and very memorable like vocals as well, which is why it has been so nostalgic for me. Why Don't We Do It on the Road? It's going in the B tier. It's good. I like how, raspy toms are not. I'm thinking of Radiohead now because I said it, but I really do like Paul's kind of raspy vocals and kind of like a country feel to it, but still like not going completely into like the territory where I don't like it, because yeah, this is still a good track. Don't Pass Me By is probably my least favorite. I would put it at the bottom of B tier. It's good. It's like a little bit above average for Beatles standards, but I know I can see why a lot of people will really love this track. I just find it kind of boring. I feel like it's a little bit too long, but sometimes I really do appreciate it, but some days I just really just don't like it a ton. That doesn't mean I'm going to skip it, because it's still a good track. It's just that like some days I can find it kind of boring. Revolution 1, it's going at the bottom of A tier. Pretty good track. It's like more of a bluesy rendition than the single version that came out, and I do like it. I don't know which one I prefer more. I do need to listen to the hard rock version more, but I really do like this bluesy version as well. Everybody's got something to hide except for me, and my monkey is a mouthful of a title, but yeah, it's going down here. It's another one of these kind of forgettable songs. It's kind of more forgettable than would I say it's why don't we do it on the road is kind of short though. I don't know. I'd say it's a little bit better than these, but yeah, I would say all three of these are highlights definitely, but they're still good. They're still at the very least, above average in my opinion. 60 Sadie, I'm sorry, it's a masterpiece. I know, a deep cut, but it is one of my favorite Beatles deep cuts. It's just brilliant, and this also inspired one of my favorite Radiohead songs, and one of my favorite songs on OK Computer, Karma Police. And you can just tell how similar they sound, and it's just amazing. I love this track. Mother Nature's Son, it's going into the bottom of S tier or top of A tier. Top of A tier. Great track. Again, Paul's vocals are amazing. 60 Sadie, also, I forgot to mention this, the piano work on this track is fucking amazing. And John's vocals fit perfectly. It's great. But anyways, back to Mother Nature's Son. It kind of gives me like a Tom York kind of vocal style, especially. Paul gives me kind of a Tom York vocal style, like kind of familiarity to it. If I'm explaining that correctly, I'm not. But yeah, it just kind of sounds like Tom York, even though Tom York did take inspiration from the Beatles, obviously. But yeah, it sounds very Tom Yorky in the singing. But anyways, Helter Skelter, it's a masterpiece. It's going up here. Would I say it's better than Blackbird? Ooh, that's tough. That's really tough, honestly. Would I say it's better than Blackbird? Ooh, it's a great track. It's like very hard rock. Probably, as a lot of people said, one of the first metal tracks ever, and one of the heaviest tracks. Definitely one of the heaviest tracks that came out at that time, if not the heaviest that came out in that in 1968. Brilliant track going up here. I wouldn't say it's better than Blackbird because Blackbird is very simple, but that's what makes it brilliant, and I would say it is a little bit better than Helter Skelter. Good Night. I know a lot of people don't like this track. I know a lot of people find it kind of mediocre as a closer. I actually really love it. It's going here. It's going here. I love how it's kind of just a Disney-esque kind of, kind of send off to a very creepy track that is Revolution 9, and I find it to be a very good send off to the entire album. And Ringo's vocals fit very well with the orchestra and the choir as well. Amazing track. Glass Onion. This is also going up here. The 3-in-a-row streak from back in the USSR. The Glass Onion is amazing. Glass Onion's going up here. I fucking adore the ending. The violin, the creepy fucking violin, and how kind of James Bondy this song sounds in a weird way. And of course, the callbacks and references to their old songs is a very nice touch as well. And John Lennon's scream, and also great guitar work as always. Julia, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but I would say it's about the same as Mother Nature's Son. It's very it's very, very like kind of heartwarming, and it has this like kind of ethereal feel because it is John Lennon, I'm pretty sure, singing about his previous wife, which is just nice. It's a nice thing. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill. Honestly, this is going up here. Going up here. I know I'm putting a lot of stuff in S tier, but that's because a lot of the songs on this are great. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill is kind of repetitive, yes, but I do like it for how repetitive it is. I really do like the slowed down parts. The instrumentation is gorgeous. Just the harmonies are also amazing before the chorus. The chorus itself is also very catchy and childlike, which is great. With kind of like, Beatles really excel at having like very dark lyrics, but having a very cheery instrumental. I feel like they really do nail that, and this is a prime example of that. Piggies, not one of my favorites. I would say it's probably down here. I do like the harpsichord, and I do like the very like kind of dramatic and very nice sounding violin at the end again. But yeah, a great track, but not one of my favorites. Wild Honey Pie, it's goofy, it's funny, it's kind of like a transition from Obladi Obladi to the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. It's a nice transition, but I wouldn't say it's like a great standalone track. I would say it's also down here. But say, no, it's not better than that. And it's not, yeah, it's probably down here. It's probably down there, but it's just a transition track, really. It's really like a goofy song, and it's not really meant to be taken seriously at all. Martha, My Dear, one of my favorites, one of my favorite deep cuts. It's going up here. Ooh, no, would I say? Now, would I say it's better than all these? Maybe not. In fact, I think maybe Sexy Sadie is a little bit too high. I'm placing it down here. I'm placing, you know what? Fuck it. I'm placing these two here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. That's where I feel like this should be. All right, I'm so tired. I didn't really like this track a ton at first, but I love the bluesy guitar in the chorus, and just the switch up from the very mellow, pre-chorus and the verses to the very energetic and very bluesy and great sounding guitars yet again. Actually, one of my favorite deep cuts again. And it's probably going very... Ooh, would I say it's better than Goodnight? I would say it's a little bit better. Birthday, also a great track. I love the... I say, oh, I love, but I'm a broken record, but it's because this album is amazing. I mean, what do you expect me to say? But Birthday, it's... it's kind of basic in lyrics, and I get that, but I love the kind of synthy feeling to the piano, especially in the later half songs. It's a fucking friend on Steam. But I do like how that kind of synthy feel, even though it wasn't a synth. It's actually just piano plugged into a guitar amp, but it has like a kind of synth feel to it, and I really do like that. But it's going there. Your Blues is another blues track that I like. Pretty good track by John Lennon. Long going here. Another beautiful track going into the A tier. Obladi Obladi, I really don't hate this track. Don't know why a lot of people do. I know it's like kind of cheery, and especially if you're not in the mood for that, you won't really like it. But I find it cheers me up like every time I listen to it. It's just a great track with great harmonies. Love the kind of high-pitched harmonies on the second chorus. How just lighthearted this song is. It's great for that. Just cheering you up, really. It's going here. Going there. While My Guitar Gently Weeps is my favorite track. It comes to no one's surprise that it is just fucking amazing. Like, George's ability really shines through on this song. Guitar work especially, because this is the only guest appearance of a guitarist, and it's fucking Eric Clapton. He did a fucking amazing, brilliant job on this. Love the guitar solo, probably one of my favorite guitar solos ever. An amazing guitar solo, amazing vocals, especially in the chorus where he goes high in his register. Amazing. Cry Baby Cry, another one of my favorite deep cuts going here. Love the piano. I love how kind of creepy the song is. It actually kind of fits well into, or kind of transitions kind of well into Revolution 9, I think. And I just love the piano on this track. Honey Pie, another one of these A tier. It's a pretty great homage to like very old, like 1920s, that kind of era music. And I feel like it pulls it off very well. It's going here. Rocky Raccoon, another one of my favorite deep cuts. I have a lot of favorite deep cuts on this album, but that's because there's a lot of tracks. It's going there. No, I'd say it's better than that. But yeah, it's going there. Love the honky-tonk kind of piano and the chorus, or not the chorus, But and like the snare drum, I haven't mentioned drums on any of these tracks, but I love the snare drum on this track. Great. I love the storytelling. Beatles really excel at storytelling. Happiness is a warm gun going up here. Actually, maybe better than Blackbird. Yeah, it's better than Blackbird. All right. Love the experimentation. Love the 5 melody switch ups, yet it feels fresh, but it still feels coherent. That's something very hard to do, especially at this time. It's extremely experimental for its time. Love John's vocals. Love the harmonies, especially in the later half. The guitar work is amazing as always. And yeah, John's vocals are a highlight on this track, especially with the creepy beginning into the more fucking explosion that is the second half. Love this song. But yeah, that is my ranking for Beatles, for the Beatles White Album. But yeah, that's basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye. Whoop, wrong key.